Hey family, welcome back to Imani Invests. I want to start today by asking you a question that I know keeps many of you up at night. Do you feel like you falling behind? Maybe you in your late 30s or your early 50s, and you look at those retirement calculators online that tell you that you need $2 million to survive. Then you look at your own bank statement, and your stomach just drops. You feel like there was a secret meeting where everyone else got the map to wealth, and you somehow missed the memo. But today, I am going to tell you something that might shock you, but it is backed by the hard data. You are probably doing much better than you think. In fact, you might actually be winning the game, but you've been staring at the wrong scoreboard for years. Let's look at the real numbers, not the Instagram numbers. According to Fidelity, 2024 data, which is pulled from over 45 million actual accounts, the median American between 50 and 59 years old has exactly $53,000 saved for retirement. Think about that for a second. If you apply the 4% rule that the experts love to talk about to that $53,000, it only gives you $2,120 per year. That is $176 a month, even if you add the average Social Security check of $1,900. The typical retiree in their 50s is looking at about $2,000 a month to live on. That is no buffer, no margin, and just one car repair away from total collapse. And yet, the person with that $53,000 probably doesn't even feel behind, because they stopped checking their accounts decades ago. Meanwhile, you, the one who is actually saving, actually trying, and actually watching this channel, you feel like you failing. Today, I am going to show you 3 specific signs that you are actually well ahead of the curve, and we're going to use the real scoreboard to prove it. The first sign that you are winning is one that sounds simple, but in America today, it is actually a superpower. You have an emergency fund. I know that doesn't sound flashy, but hear the truth in this. A recent Bankrate survey found that 56% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency with their savings. More than half the country is living one bad Tuesday away from a crisis. This isn't a temporary problem. This has been the baseline for over a decade, even when the economy was booming. Most people are living with no margin and no slack. I think about a man named Ray who had a good government job and a nice house. But when his car's transmission died and cost $1,300, he didn't have the cash. He put it on a credit card at 22% interest, and by the time he paid it off 8 months later, that repair cost him almost $1,800. Ray wasn't reckless. He was just living the standard American life with no buffer. When you have 1 to 3 months of expenses tucked away in a high-yield savings account, you aren't just saving money, you are protecting your peace. That fund exists so that when the transmission dies, you don't have to stop your 401k contributions or sell your stocks at the bottom of a market dip. A Federal Reserve survey found that 44% of the country has less than 1 month of expenses saved. If you have more than that, you are already in the top half of the country. You might feel like you don't have enough, but you are comparing your real life stability to someone else's staged appearance of wealth. You are looking at their new truck or their renovated kitchen, while they are secretly running a deficit and praying their water heater doesn't break. You have to stop reading their scoreboard and start looking at yours. The second sign you are ahead is that your retirement savings actually exceed the median for your age group. Most people refuse to believe how low these numbers really are until they see the ground truth. According to Fidelity, if you are in your 20s, the median balance is just $5,000. In your 30s, it's $11,000. In your 40s, it's $36,000. And in your 50s, it's $60,000. And remember, these numbers only count the people who actually have an account. 30% of workers have no retirement plan at all. If you have $100,000 saved and you in your early 40s, you aren't behind. You are statistically in the top 20% of your age group. The person who feels behind is often the one who has been doing the work but measuring themselves against a fantasy. I built a tool called the Imani Wealth Exit Code for exactly this reason. Most online calculators are mathematically wrong because they assume your journey will be a straight line. They ignore the sequence of returns risk, the danger of the market dropping right as you retire, and they ignore the invisible bill of healthcare before Medicare kicks in, which can cost a couple $14,000 a year. My guide is built on 50 years of actual data to give you a real exit date, not just an aspiration. Because once you know the real score, you can build a real plan. The third sign that you are winning is that you are investing, not just saving. There is a massive difference. If you have $50,000 sitting in a basic savings account earning nearly zero, inflation is quietly eating your legacy. Over 30 years, that money loses half its power. But if you took that same $50,000 and put it into a boring S&P 500 index fund 30 years ago, it would have grown into nearly $1 million today. Nearly half of American adults own zero stocks. They have no exposure to the single greatest wealth-building engine in history. If you are consistently contributing to a retirement account, even if it's not the maximum, and you don't stop when the market gets scary, you are in a behavioral category that most people will never reach. I've spent years around people who manage money for a living, and you'd be surprised how many experts make emotional mistakes. I knew a sharp accountant who panicked in March of 2020 and sold everything at the bottom because he was convinced the market was going to zero. He missed the entire recovery and didn't buy back in until the market was back at the top. That isn't a math problem. It's a brain problem. We are wired to feel the pain of a loss twice as much as the joy of a gain. The average investor underperforms the market by 3 to 4% every year because they can stop touching the sell button. The way you win is by removing your own access to that button. Automate your deposits, set your allocation, and get out of your own way. Your index fund doesn't have feelings, and that is its greatest strength. I want to finish with the story of two men, Dave and Kevin, because it perfectly illustrates the difference between looking rich and being rich. Dave earns $130,000 a year. He has a brand new truck financed for 6 years, a fancy renovated kitchen, and his kids are in every expensive activity you can imagine. From the outside, Dave is the man. But Dave only saves 5% of his income. He has $22,000 in credit card debt, and his net worth is only $90,000. Most of which is just theoretical equity in a house with a huge mortgage. Dave is going to have to work until he is 70. Now look at Kevin. Kevin earns $85,000, way less than Dave. He drives a 6-year-old sedan that's been paid off for years. He rents a simple apartment. And he takes one modest vacation a year. But Kevin saves 15% of his check and maxes out his Roth IRA every single year. Kevin's net worth at age 47 is $510,000. Dave looks richer than Kevin on any given Tuesday, but Kevin is actually 5 times wealthier. Kevin is on track to retire at 60 with over $1 million, while Dave is still financing next year's truck model. Dave's success is actually destroying his ability to build a real score. Family, the financial industry has $1 trillion incentive to make you feel like building wealth is complicated so they can charge you a fee to manage it. They turn normal market movements into reasons for you to call them, and they charge you a percentage of everything you own just to keep you in an index fund you could have bought yourself for free. On a $200,000 portfolio, a 1% fee can cost you $170,000 in lost growth over 30 years. What are you getting for that? A brochure with a picture of a sailboat. Lazy investing. Boring, consistent, low-cost index fund investing. Has built more fortunes than any crypto meme ever will. So, here is your action plan. First, calculate your actual net worth this week. Add up your accounts and your equity, and subtract every dime you owe. Put that number next to the real medians I gave you, not next to your neighbor's new car. Second, if you don't have 3 months of expenses in a high-yield account, make that your only priority. That buffer is what protects your investments from your life. And third, automate everything and create distance between yourself and the sell button. The real scoreboard doesn't care how sophisticated your strategy sounds or how impressive your car looks in the driveway. It only measures what compounds you earn. Behind because you don't have $1 million yet. You ahead because you started making intentional decisions. This is Imani reminding you that wealth is built step by step, and your focus should be on your own journey, not the one being sold to you on a screen. If this message blessed you today, hit that like button and subscribe to the family. Let's keep building our legacies together. I'll see you in the next one.